Hello and welcome back to Hollowponds Solo Sagas. Today we are playing the Electric State, where we'll be continuing with our 6th episode. The Electric State is the role-playing game by Free League Publishing, based on the artworks by Simon Stålenhag. We are continuing on the journey of Kurt, Molly and Don as they are proceeding up the western coast of America between San Francisco, well, they're San Francisco and Los Angeles, but they're going from Los Angeles to San Francisco. They began in a place called Baker, just outside the Mojave Desert, and they've continued into Los Angeles and are now moving up the coast. So we are at the moment halfway through exploring a stop, which is the airbase, halfway up the way, actually it's less than halfway up. It's the Vandenberg Air Base. We have had various things occurring and we're hoping to find out whether Don and Molly can stop the doctor who is being arrested. So just to catch you up, the airbase, because of the roles we had, is having a difficult time of it. The commander in charge of the airbase, who is Colonel Everett Matheson. Colonel Everett Matheson is trying to get his men to be ready for something that isn't coming, forcing them into the Electric State to recoup training, and a lot of the men, because of the depression of the time and their lack of hope, have lost themselves to the Electric State. And it seems that the Doctor, Cassandra Howe, is trying to stop this from happening. Where we left them, the Doctor was being arrested, and I've got here Don and Molly go to stop Doctor being arrested, so I assume the Doctor is being dragged off from memory, and we would be catching up with Don and Molly as they attempt to stop her from being arrested. So yes, Don and Molly. Thank you very much to the subscribers for returning, if you're a returning subscriber. If you are not yet a subscriber, as 2/3 of you are still not subscribers. No, I just checked. It's just over 50%. 55% of you are not subscribers, which is pretty cool. Then do consider hitting the subscription. That would be awesome if you do. Thank you very much to our supporters of the Adventurers Guild. So, Don and Molly, yes. So we had... Don and Molly had gone into the medical ward to attempt, because Molly needed to use the restrooms. It seemed like a good reason at the time. Kurt has gone and paid homage to his sister at the Wall of Remembrance. And we have, Don and Molly had witnessed some noises and gone to check it and saw that there was a woman who was wearing doctor's overalls, lab coat type thing, white coat, being dragged away by 2 soldiers. The soldiers being one acting in, I remember this, a megalomaniac and angry. They're both angry, but one is spouting some things about how the Doctor is causing, he's very much on the side of the Colonel, Colonel Everett Matheson, Colonel Matheson, and is trying to take the Doctor away. So we would have Don and Molly would step in and attempt to stop this. Would Don and Molly step in and attempt to stop this? This might be something. So Don acts with aggression. Molly might not want to, because Molly runs when threatened and when afraid. So our blocker for this was just bad weather, flooded. So really we just need to wait for the weather to pass, which is time. So we might say, so we've been here for not very long, so let's see how the weather is doing. Let's do a tilt and we'll see how the weather is doing, because that then potentially gives us just trying to get out of here now, because the Doctor, I mean, Don acts aggressively. Molly might want them to go, so let's do a tilt. Red 7. Red 7 is good for the Travellers. 7 is quite medium, so we will have that the weather is starting to clear. So it's not cleared, it's still raining, but the thunder and the storms are sort of backing down, so the weather is clearing, which means that we're leading towards a thing where they could leave if they wanted to. But we do have, so the rain is hitting the windows less hard as we see her struggling against one of the guards. Does a guard do anything physical towards her? If a guard, so black means the guard is going to strike her. Red is the guard is going to try and talk her to come around. Red, so the guard starts to try and talk her coming around and talk her to come. So we are going to do a quick roll between the two of them. We'll grab two NPCs and will get them to roll against each other, an opposing roll. If the soldier wins, she goes. If she wins, the soldier potentially gets angry. I think I looked them up, couldn't find one. So what we're going to say is we're going to say that she has an empathy of 4 and they have an empathy of 2. So we'll just do that. So basically, who gets the most hits? They're both arguing against each other. She's resisting being dragged away. They are getting angry as she's resisting. We'll do another tilt. Black and a coin. Oh, okay. So they get angry with her. They the very angry megalomaniac strikes her. It's a face card. It's a spades. Spades is a personal threat countdown event. Right, personal threat countdown event. So if we say, so Don's personal threat is, if I remember rightly, he is sick, threat, dying, poisoned during the war. So they strike her. Don is going to run out and Don is going to try and fight these two gentlemen and put them down. If all he needs to do is be, let's say, we're going to give them not much strength. We're going to give them 2 or 3 health each. So we will say, if this is rolls, so the first one, if it rolls a 5 and 6, they have 3. Nope, so have 2. Next one, they have 2. So both of them have 2 health each. Now, the reason why this is a personal threat and it's going to be Don and the personal threat clock is going to click up is at the end of this fight, no matter what, Don is going to start hacking up blood because Don's poison event is clicking 1 closer. So Don is going to go 1 closer to his personal threat, which is he's dying of poison. He's going to get worse, which is why then Molly may have to find out about this and the doctor might find out about it, which means instead of helping, they might leave to just go along the way. But the doctor might be able to help. No, because it's not going to help. The threat's not going to go away. It's just going to get worse. So Don is going to steam out and Don is going to charge into one of these people. So we will have a fight between, so Don and the bloke. The bloke isn't going to know Don's coming. So the bloke isn't going to be able to defend himself. So Don just gets to charge straight into him because we have the fast and the slow, and we can dodge, and we dodge an unlimited number during our period of time, I think. I think that's right. So he has a strength of 5 as Don goes running out. He isn't going to have anything. He's just angry and he goes charging out into one of the 2 guards. He gets 2 6s. If it's 1 and 1, which is 2, and the 2 goes against one of the guards, and the guards, he knocks one of the guards, runs forwards as fast as he can, smashes into one of the guards' stomachs, who falls back and hits their head against the table and rolls to the floor unconscious. Don is on the floor. The other guard is looking a bit surprised, and Dr. Hale looks panicked and screeches. Molly is going to call out, stop Don, as Don gets up to his knees and panting, whereas the soldier, let's find the soldier's stats. There should be one under threats, I guess. We give the soldier a baton, which counts as a +1 billy club, but it's a billy club. We'll give him a billy club. He is going to have a strength of 4, which is what the law enforcement has. I mean, we could say that he has a strength of 5. but we are saying this is an airfield, so these are airmen, and then we could have a whole thing about, you know, soldiers and airmen fighting against each other. So the angry soldier who has the name Harney, Airman Harney, he is going to stride in to Don, who is crouched over on the floor, as breathing heavily as he attempts to get to his feet. So then for Don's turn, and Airman Harney is going to smash Don across the back. He's got 4 strength, so he gets 1 hit. Don is not going to defend himself, because we'll say he can't, because he's going to need his quick action to get up because he went charging in, and then he will try and attack on his turn. So Don gets smashed across the back with a baton. We'll say that does 2 damage, knocking Don down to 2 damage left. Don is now gets up onto his feet, staggering and breathing heavily. We will say there is a small trail of blood down the corner of Don's mouth. Molly, what's Molly going to do? Molly is going to run to the doctor and start pulling the doctor away. Don will then turn on the guard and charge forward and try and hit the guard. The guard is going to use a quick action to defend. Don gets 2 hits, and Don is going to attempt to push the rest of those, as he didn't get a 1. Don gets 3 hits but gets a 1, so Don's hope is dropped to 3 as he realizes how he's turned to violence again. Don gets 1, 2, 3 hits. The the airman is going to attempt to defend himself against Don's attack. I just checked it up. In defending himself against this attack, the airman foregoes his next whole action, but he can defend against an unlimited number. And gets zero defenses. So the airman attempts to defend himself, but Don piles in with anger, beating the airman to the ground and continuing to beat upon the airman as Molly and the doctor run forward to pull Don off of him. This is where Don is going to start, so his clock is going to tick to 1. And at the end of this, he is going to start coughing, and we are going to say that this is going to reduce his strength and agility by 1 each, which will reduce his maximum health to 4. He's gone down to 2 health. The doctor will attempt to tend to him, as Molly is going to convince the doctor that really they should be leaving this area. So they were in the doctor's office. Don is panting, he's looking sick. The doctor will know that Don is ill. So she's seen this before. And she is going to crouch down to Don and make sure that Don's okay. And we will see her looking him in the eyes and giving him a check. Let's make sure she can make a medical roll in tending to him, because she would have fit like that. 1, 2 hits. Okay, like that waitress had. So she stabilizes him. He's okay though. He didn't get broken, so he didn't get the critical. But she's looking after him, and this is her noticing that he has the poison. We will cut back to Kurt. We will cut back to Kurt at the wall. So Kurt is at the wall. Kurt might get a chance to resolve. So Kurt's at the wall. Kurt is talking to his sister. Kurt's holding the rain is starting to ease back. Let's see. Oh, okay. All right. No, it starts to thunder a bit more. That's another spade. So that is Kurt's clock. because that's another spade. So the weather's getting worse. The weather starts to rain again on Kurt as Kurt starts to explain to... So Kurt's threat is that his material is stolen and that it's going to be discovered. So he is going to start talking to his sister and explain to his sister about the friend of his that he had, who was an amazingly beautiful poet. Perhaps it was his ex-partner, because Kurt's quite old. He's 39, which is why he's in Baker. Is he needed to run away because he stole some of her work and published it as his. This is the first time we are now finding out about this. So he is admitting to his sister, the Wall, that he has stolen the material and that the material was hers, and that he knows he's let his sister down, and he knows that he needs to get to San Francisco and he needs to try and actually perform his own material, and he's worried he doesn't know how that's going to go down, because he's only really performed other people's material up until this point, but he's always passed it off as his own, and he will explain that to his sister. So we've got some resolution and some background from Kurt and why he's going to San Francisco and why it's so important he goes there and performs at the saloon. And perhaps the saloon was, he and his sister used to go to the saloon before she then went into the Neuroscape and stayed there and didn't come out. And then we can have Kurt partially explaining how he feels let down by his sister doing that. And because of that conversation, we're going to say he feels a bit relieved that some of these truths are coming out, and we're going to kick his hope back up to 6. Okay, so Kurt is then going to... Is Kurt going to head back? Will Kurt just head back to the car and assume that's it? They're going to go. What we got here? So Reds, he will head back to the car. Blacks, he's going to try and find out where Molly and Don have gone. Reds, okay, he's going to head back to the car. So Kurt goes back, takes Rocket back to the car, speaks to the guy on the door who was, what was his name again? Senior Airman Kyle Mercer. So he's going to speak to Kyle and explain to Kyle that he's gone. He saw his sister's name on the wall. He's spoken to her. He feels a bit better, but it's time for them to go, and he's going to go get into the car. All right. The doctor is going to be explaining to Don and Molly that what's happening here. Now, how can these people resolve this? Stop. How can they stop this from happening? I don't think Don and Molly can stop this. Maybe that's what this scene is. Maybe this scene is Molly and Don speaking to the doctor. Don being at Molly. Yeah, okay. I don't think this can be stopped. I think it's just going to be one of those scenes in something which is showing how the world is getting worse and the world is pulling itself apart. And that our heroes, our characters, sometimes they just can't do anything about it. They've got their own journeys. So Molly and Don and the doctor will be sitting as the doctor is tending to Don. Don will be saying, both Don and Molly will be saying along the lines of, there must be something we can do. We can help you. Why don't you just come with us? And the doctor will be saying, I can't come with you. Even though I don't want to be here, even though I don't want to watch all these people die, I don't want to watch my men die. I can't leave them. I've got wards full of them that need to be looked after. Something might be able to be done. I can't just go and leave them. Sometimes you can't turn your back on things. And then maybe at that point we can send Molly out for something. I mean, at some point the soldiers are going to come back and she will be saying, look, they're going to come back soon. You're going to have to go. They'll come back and get me. I might as well just go and speak to them. And if I can speak to the colonel, maybe he'll understand. But I can't leave them. So Molly will go and then she will say to Don, you know what you've got, don't you? And Don will admit, because Don does know that he has poison, he's going to say, yes, I do. I know what I've got. And the doctor will be saying, it's come quite a long way. You've not got much time left. And Don will have to admit, he knows. He knows he doesn't have much time left, and that's why he wants to go surfing. That's why I want to go, Doc. That's why I want to go surf. Just one last surf. That's all I want. Just to see the water, just to surf one last time. That's all I want to do. Just before everything falls apart and I fall apart. She's going, but this is insane. If you went to see someone, a proper doctor, if you went to go and see someone, they might be able to do something. They could have done something. There are treatments now for this. It was like 20 years ago. We can treat this now. This is too far. I'm gone. I just want this last thing. Don't tell Molly. Don't tell her. She doesn't need to know. She's 17. She doesn't need to know about this. It's going to be okay in the end, but she doesn't need to know, Doc. Just don't tell her. And then Molly will come back into scene. The doctor, he's going, what's the doctor going to do? The doctor will have to try and... The doctor's going to try and get them to just go. Maybe the doctor will... What can the doctor... Maybe the doctor can give them... They don't have medical kits. Maybe the doctor will give them a medical kit, because they don't have a medical kit and they keep getting hit. So the doctor will give them a medical kit, and then possibly one of them can learn a talent. Probably Molly, because Molly can't improve anything any further. Learn a talent. And Don is looking very pale at this point. Let's see if so she's not going to want the doctor. She's not going to want to go. Molly is going to try and convince her to go. So like most free league things, medical's based on empathy, so we can give the doctor a fight. I mean, even if Molly beats the roll, I mean, even so we can try. Okay, Molly is going to attempt to convince the doctor to come. So we can get Molly can roll as many dice as she likes. The doctor isn't coming. The doctor won't come because the medical people. So the only thing is if we turn a black card here, more of the officers turn up, and then we're going to have to get. And then there's going to be a reason why they were here. Red. Okay, that's cool. All right, so they can hear more soldiers coming. The doctor is panicked, the doctor is worried, the doctor says, look, go, just go, otherwise he'll arrest you, and then you, and she stares Don in the eyes, you won't get to surf. And Don will drag Molly away, and Molly won't want to go, because, well, Molly won't want to go, because she won't want to leave. So maybe this is going to cause a tension between Molly and Don. Molly is not going to like Don for dragging her away, so there's a tension there, and the reason he's got dragged away. Don is still looking very pale, so Molly might be worried about Don for that reason, but we would then, next scene, we would see Kurt is sitting in the car. The rain, how's the rain doing? It's going to be a black card, isn't it? Oh no, it's red. Okay, so the rain has come, rain has cleared. It's about, yeah. So the rain is starting to clear and is less. And we were in the daytime, so I think we got here in the morning. I think this was the morning. So we've now been around midday-ish as the rain is now starting to ease off. It's still quite flooded in front, but maybe they can get around the flooding. So maybe we can get them to go around the flooding. Molly is quite distraught. They'll go in the car. Molly's starting to have a go at Don as they climb into the car. Kurt's going to be asking, where have you been? Kurt's soaked. Molly and Don are soaked. Don is coughing every now and then into a handkerchief as he's letting his body settle. So Don can't drive with this one. Kurt's got an agility of 6 now. So Kurt is going to say, look, I think we should just go. This was a bad idea. It was a bad idea to come here. I mean, I've got to speak to my sister, but it was a bad, I dug up all sorts of old things and old thoughts. It was a bad idea. We should go. And then Kurt is going to attempt to, I mean, the next stop theoretically should be one of the beaches. But we could have, there's not much distance between here and the beaches. So there could be some minor sort of those semi-encounters along the way. I'll put up the map. It's not that far. It's a couple of hours from here to Pismo Beach and then Morro Bay. And if we've said the weather's clearing, then they'll probably get there by that point. But first off, Kurt has to roll his agility and try and get this cart around. We just need one hit off of Kurt. He gets one hit. And that's good because he won't want to re-roll his hope. So bumping and grinding the car around the embankment, slipping down every now and then. Everybody struggling and everyone, maybe Rocket is in the footwell whining a bit as they're going around the corner. Kurt will take the car back around, back onto the road, and they will continue along the way to Pismo Beach. They will come inland and via Santa Maria. And maybe the next little encounter thing will happen somewhere in Santa Maria. And that, we'll do like another short. So Electric State seems to feel, so we'll do another sort of short one. Electric State seems to feel very much in a short burst sort of thing. And actually, we can talk about this as well before I say thank you. I don't know whether I was feeling it really. And sometimes rather than not doing something, trying to do something is better, I always think. And so hopefully that went okay. And the whole bit with Don, I got a bit teary. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. We will continue the journey up coast and we'll see what happens next in the Electric State. Thank you very much for watching. If you're a subscriber, if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. You can see more of this weirdness. Thank you awfully much to the Adventurers Guild for all of your support. Thank you for everyone's support, particularly last week for me, which was my birthday week, which people gave a variety of super thanks donations. Thank you very much indeed to everyone. It's very, very much appreciated. If you would like to give a super thanks, there's a little thing down there. But thank you very much. Adventurers Guild, if you'd like to join the Adventurers Guild, there's the join button down the bottom. And beyond that, I think we'll call it there. Thank you very much.